Hello, it's Jon Morrow, and I have a little video tutorial for you today. Surprise! No more stuff in writing. We're actually going to go visual here. And the reason why is I want to help you correct what may be one of the most insidious problems that bloggers have to deal with, and that's your blog topic. Okay. Um, you may not realize it, but the vast majority of topics that people choose for blogs actually never have any hope whatsoever of becoming a popular blog. There's actually a fairly narrow range of things that you can blog about. And most bloggers aren't aware of that. You probably think that you can just pick something that you're passionate about and go out there and start blogging, and if you're good, you'll be successful. And that's just not the case. And in this video, I want to show you why, okay? And what I want to do is, not only do I want to tell you how to choose a good blog topic, but I kind of want to give you a scorecard of that you can use to determine whether you're on the right track or not. And you can download that scorecard below this video, okay? But let's walk through the key ideas here. Okay? So, just to put things in perspective. Okay, let's go through some of the big mistakes, through some of the big myths that a lot of bloggers make. And by the way, this breaks my heart. Because, I mean, you may have all of this passion. You want to get out there and you want to help people. You want to spread your ideas. And you may just be headed down the wrong road. About a third of the people that I do consulting with at $1,000 an hour, I end up telling them they shouldn't be blogging. That blogging is not the vehicle for them. Okay? And in many cases, I don't even charge them. I wouldn't feel right in charging them because, they came to me for advice on how to do it, and I said, don't do it at all. Okay? So for you, if you're making one of these mistakes here, you may not realize it, but you may be headed down a dead-end road. And rather than you spend 2 years on that road to find out it's a dead end, like I did, by the way. I started several failed blogs before I finally started to figure this stuff out. If you could find out right here in the next 10-15 minutes, okay, and know whether you're on the right track or not. So, mistake number one is trying to be a big fish in a small pond. And this is a shocker for a lot of people. Because what is the thing that you hear? Choose a narrow space and dominate it. Grow rich in your niche. Okay? And what you may try to do is find some little topic somewhere out on the web that no one else is talking about. That you can be the only one. And you start a blog there. And you think because you're the only one, because you chose that small little pond, that you can dominate it. And here's the problem with that thinking. That if it's a small pond, chances are the pond is empty. Okay, and you're going to be the only fish in that pond forever. There are going to be no readers either. Okay, and the other problem is blogging is a mass market medium. Mass market. It's not an effective traffic getting strategy in anything but a mass market. If you choose a narrow topic, it doesn't work. And what I mean by mass market is, let's say 10% of the population. So, if you were, let's say the United States, you would want at least 30 million people to be interested in the topic. Or you would want 1 out of every 10 people to have an interest in it. If that's not the case, then blogging is more than likely not going to be an effective way to reach those people. Okay? If you're working in a niche space, by the way, advertising is the way to go. I'm not saying you can't be successful in a small pond, in a niche space, but if you do that, you need to be paying money for advertising to target those exact people, rather than using a mass market medium like blogging. Blogging is like advertising on the Super Bowl. Okay? It needs to apply to everyone. If it doesn't, you're really going to struggle. Okay? So, the second big mistake is making your blog about yourself. And this is another one I see so often. You start a blog to be a representation of you. It's about your ideas. It's about your thoughts. It's about your insights that you want to share with the world. And one of the most devastating discoveries that you can make as a blogger is that no one cares about you. They really don't. That they don't care what you think. They don't care what insights you've had. The vast majority of the world does not care. And to try to make people care is actually extremely, extremely difficult. Almost impossible. Okay? The better way to go, and we're going to get into this more later, is to talk about things people are already interested in. To find a topic that people are desperately looking for information for, and that they're excited about hearing more about, that they require no motivation at all, no persuasion to listen, and then talk about that. Okay? Your blog needs to be about your readers, not about yourself. You got to take yourself out of the picture. You got to check your ego at the door. Okay? If you don't, you're going to have a really, really rough time. Okay? The third is choosing a topic that's totally unique. And this is similar to the first one. Okay? And we're going to go through this and why this is a mistake. But the basic idea is, if you're the only one blogging about a topic, whether it's small, big, whatever, that is an enormous problem because there's no one around to link to you. Traffic doesn't come from nowhere. Someone has to send it to you. Okay? And everything starts with links. If there's no one else blogging about the same topic, it's almost impossible to get links. It's not impossible, but it's 500 times more difficult. Okay? And so being the first person in the space, I mean, what's the saying? You can tell who's a pioneer because you'll find them lying beside the road with an arrow in their back. That's exactly 100% true when it comes to blogging. The first person in any given space, it is extraordinarily difficult. You have to work 100, 500 times harder than if you enter an existing space where there are lots of other people talking about that topic. Another mistake is targeting an audience based by age or location. Huge, huge, huge mistake. And it goes back to blogging being a mass market medium. You reach everybody or nobody at all. Okay? There's nothing in between. And again, it's like the Super Bowl. Can you imagine doing an ad on the Super Bowl? It would not be a smart use of advertising. Maybe somebody's done it. Were you're targeting people only between the age of 30 to 45? Or only between over the age of 55? It's not really a smart thing to do. All right. And in general, by the way, just so you know, the age of people who read blogs is 30 to 55. That's the age. If you're targeting below 30, or if you have an issue below 30, you're going to have a difficult time. If you're targeting an issue over the age of 55, especially over the age of 60, you're going to have a difficult time. The reason why is young people don't read blogs and older people don't read blogs. Not many of them, by the way. Okay? So, targeting people by age in general It's a bad idea. What I recommend, choose a topic that transcends age, that people of all ages are interested in. All ages. If you can't do that, you're setting yourself up for trouble. The second is location. In my opinion, and this is very controversial, starting a blog about a local place is an extremely inefficient use of your time. Extremely inefficient use of your time. Um, Again, because it comes down to blogging being a mass market medium. One of the primary reasons to start a blog is so that it gets shared. And if someone is coming across your blog, let's say it gets shared on Facebook, and somebody clicks that ad and they're in a different state, but or they click that link, excuse me, but they're in a different state of the United States, or they're in a different country, and you can't help them, and there's nothing there for them, you're missing an enormous opportunity. So what I recommend doing, whenever you're choosing your blog topic, do not make it exclusive to one location. It needs to be about everyone. Everyone anywhere in the world that has an interest in this topic can come. Okay? And then lastly, making your blog about your business. And this is another really controversial one here, because you've probably heard, blogging is a great way to get free traffic and promote your products and services. Blogging is a great way of getting clients and leads. And the truth is yes and no. Yes, a blog can help you get clients or make sales. Yes, it can help you grow your business, but it cannot be about your business. If all of your blog posts are about your products and your services and your company news and your innovations and all of those things, you'll never have a large audience. Not unless you're Apple or something, right? And even then, it would be difficult. And the reason why is people care about themselves. They want to know how you're going to help them. They want to know how to do things, okay? So, yes, you can use a blog to promote your business, but you have to do it in a way where your blog still operates as if it were a magazine that's independent of your business, to where you're teaching them how to do things that have no relation whatsoever to your products and services. Not all of the time, anyway. Okay? If every blog post is a veiled promotion for your products and services, no one is going to want to read it. Yes, it's okay to mention it on occasion. Yes, it's okay once they become a regular reader to send them an email about your products or services, or to even put something in your design that leads them over in that direction. But to try to force it down their throat in your content is a huge mistake. A blog is always about the audience. It's never about you or your business. Okay? So, these are some deadly mistakes here. I hope you're not making any of these, but if you are, let's talk about how to correct it here. Alright, most of these mistakes here are a result of this type of thinking. Okay, and that's just to give you a metaphor here. If your dreams are the sky and you are the soil here, your ideas are the roots of this tree. Okay, this is your blog. Okay, so your blog is growing up out of you. Okay, and these are your blog posts, and this is the money or the other results that you're looking for. Okay, and so this here is how a lot of people approach blogging, is that your blog is an extension of yourself. It is growing up out of you. And what I call that is rooted in self. If your blog is rooted in self, and this could be you, your business, your cause, whatever. Okay, if it's all about you and your ideas and your dreams and it's an extension of you, chances are it'll never work. And by the way, that even applies to blogs that are named after a person. So when you look at Mark and Angel or Chris Gillibo or any of those people, right? Yes, they turn into enormous celebrities, but if you read their content, it's not about them. It's about you. And they occasionally bring in little stories out of their own lives, but still the majority of their content is about improving your life in some way. And it's transparent and selfless. Okay? So that brings us to the fixed diagram. Okay, the big difference here, and this is rooted in readership. Notice that the soil here at the bottom is your readers. It's the roots of the blog are their interests. The sky up here above is their dreams. Notice that you are not on this diagram. That's intentional. You have to become a lens through which your readers view a better version of themselves. That's all we are. That doesn't mean you can't tell a little story about your life. Okay? But even that story has to be written with the purpose of enriching their life, of giving them some lesson. It cannot be self-indulgent. It cannot be about you. Okay? It always has to be about them. If you do that, you will get a dramatically better response from people. So let's go through a few examples of what this looks like. Because you can tell even from the name of the blogs. Okay? Pro blogger. Who is this blog for? People who want to be professional bloggers. It's naming the audience. It's not called Darren Rouse, who started and runs the blog. It's naming the audience. I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. Okay? Hugely successful personal finance blog, New York Times best-selling book. And it's naming the benefit of reading the blog. Again, it's all about you. I will teach you how to be rich. Not youwillmakemerich.com, right? That's not going to be a successful site. But I will teach you to be rich. There you go. Okay? Entrepreneur on Fire. Podcast. So this, by the way, applies to any type of media. I mean, podcasting, YouTube channels, any of this stuff, it's going to be the same ideas. Entrepreneur on Fire. It's about entrepreneurs who are passionate and on fire about what they're doing. It's clearly labeling the audience. Zen Habits. One of the most popular productivity and self-improvement blogs. You're going to learn Zen Habits when you go to the blog. It's naming the topic. It's naming what you're going to learn. And then one that you may recognize here, Boost Blog Traffic, my blog, naming the benefit. Now, is there any question, just by looking at the names of these sites, whether or not this site is for you? They're all about the audience. These are some of the most popular sites in the world. And we could go on and on and on and on like this. Sites that aren't named like this, by the way, are an exception to the rule and are successful in spite of a horrible name usually. Okay, you can be successful despite a horrible name, but it's harder. It's harder. And if you are starting a blog, why not make it as easy for yourself as you possibly can? And by becoming transparent, by making your blog all about your audience, you'll be on your way to doing that. All right, so let's go on to the next idea here. And that is crowds are good. Crowds are good. The more popular, the more crowded a space is with bloggers, the more competing, and I would put that in quotes, blogs there are out there, the easier it is to grow a popular blog. This is counterintuitive. Counterintuitive. Okay, and the reason why, okay, we'll get to in a minute. But here's the idea, okay? When you have less competitors, you have less link sources. When there's lots of competition, you have a lot of opportunities to links. All right, and the example I would give you here is, do you want to start a restaurant out in the middle of the desert? There's no competition out there. You can be the only hamburger stand in town, but there are no customers either. Okay? On the other hand, you can start a restaurant in the middle of Manhattan. There are tons of competitors. Very, very talented, good competitors. But if you do a great job, your chances of building a successful site in a place like, or restaurant in Manhattan are dramatically easier because there are lots of people around. Okay, it's easy for a lot of people to get to your restaurant. Same thing with blogging. But when you're in a crowded space, there are lots of inroads to you. There are lots of people to link to you. And here's what I mean. So let's say this circle represents your blog. Okay? And then let's say you have these 4 competitors. These 4 blogs on a very similar topic to yours. Okay? Your blog will grow because they're linking to you. So here's the thing to understand about blogging. Okay? Is that competitors, other blogs, they don't actually view you as a competitor. They view you as a peer if they're successful. So they don't mind promoting your content if it's good. They hope that you'll promote theirs too. Blogging is done in the spirit of cooperation, not in the spirit of trying to kill your competitors. You'll almost never find that mindset. Actually, I've never heard the mindset of competition from any of the most popular bloggers in the world. Not a single one. Never escaped their lips. It's not even in their mind. What is in their mind is, how can I reach as many people as possible? And how can we help each other to reach as many people as possible? Alright, so the more competitors there are, the more peers there are to talk about what an amazing job you're doing publishing great content. Okay? What an amazing job you're doing helping people. On the other hand, if you're in a space with nobody, there's no one to talk about how good of a job you're doing. It goes back to that Martin Luther King effect. Okay? That was talked about in the Blogging for Busy People report. You can give the greatest speech to an empty room and it'll do nobody any good. On the other hand, the more crowded it is, the more people you can affect, the easier it is to spread your message. Okay? So, you may say, well, John, what are the most crowded spaces? And I can be very specific here for you. Because if you look at the vast majority of popular blogs, they fall into one of these 11 categories. And let's just go ahead and go through them here. Okay? First one is personal finance. Enormously popular category. Gadgets and technology. Career. Creative endeavors. And by creative endeavors, what I mean is photography, fiction writing, even something like painting, Photoshop, okay? Web design. Those would all be creative endeavors. Parenting, business and entrepreneurship, social media and blogging. That's the one I fit into. Freelancing, marketing, news, culture, and entertainment. And by that I mean Huffington Post. Okay, would be a news blog. And even entertainment blogs, so like Boing Boing or any of those, they exist solely for the purpose of entertaining you. Okay, and then self-improvement. And by the way, self-improvement, by far the biggest space, by far the most crowded. It dwarfs all of these other spaces. And it also has the most traffic and maybe the easiest time of building a popular blog. I'm actually planning to start a blog in this space, if I haven't already, depending on when you're watching this video. Okay. Um, so, and by the way, self-improvement also includes things like health, productivity. Okay. So, I mean, even an apps blog talking about phone apps that can improve your productivity. You could put that in the self-improvement category, or you could put that in the gadgets and technology category. Okay, so sometimes you can fit into multiple categories. So there's another there's a blog like Money Saving Mom. Okay, that fits into the parenting and the personal finance category. So even if you can fit into multiple of these, that's great. But if you can't fit into any of them, and if you can't even connect to any of them, you're going to be in trouble. It's going to be very, very difficult. And what I mean by connecting to one of these, let's say you have a blog about leadership, for example. That, you could say maybe it's in the self-improvement category. That's probably where I would put it. But it also has connections to personal finance. Because by becoming a better leader, in general, you get promoted, you earn more money. It definitely affects career. You could put it in the career category. It even affects parenting. Learn how to be a better leader with your family. Okay? It definitely affects business and entrepreneurship. All right? So even if you may say, well, mine doesn't fit into any distinct category. Well, if you can fit it or connect it with multiple categories, you could still be okay. But if you look at these and say, let's say horse racing, which one would you put that into? Doesn't really fit, does it? Maybe into entertainment? Maybe. Even then, it's going to be difficult. Okay, let's say that you want to blog about English as a second language. Where are you going to put it? Maybe you have some personal finance connections. If you learn English, you'll have an easier time. Maybe into business and entrepreneurship. Maybe into culture. But even then, it's going to be hard, isn't it? Okay? So if you don't fit into at least one of these categories, you're really, really, really going to struggle. Okay? So it's important to know where you are. And by the way, I really don't recommend category number 10. You can start a blog there, but it's still very difficult. It's a different animal. It's more similar to journalism than it is magazines. It's news instead of how-to, okay? And it operates under a different system than all of these other categories. So I really would persuade you, unless you are like a trained journalist, not to try to go into that category. But the others, they're all similar to starting a magazine in one of those spaces. Okay. If you look at magazines, you can put them into a lot of the same categories. And it's not a coincidence, because these aren't just the best categories for blogs. These are the broad interests that people have. These are the mass market interests, okay? And because of that, these are some of the only things blogging is really effective at writing about. All right. So I hope this has been helpful to you. The bottom line here, what connects all of this together, is that it's all about starting a blog in a space where it's easy to get links from authority sources. Because links from authority sources, and by authority sources I mean other big blogs, other big podcasts, other big YouTube channels, whatever it is, okay? You have to get those links. Because, and you may say, well, John, there aren't any in my space. What I'm going to do is I'm going to optimize for Google, and I'm going to get search engine traffic. I got bad news for you. You know what determines whether you get to the first page of Google? The primary factor? Links from authority sources. You may say, well, John, I'm going to grow my blog with social media. I'm going to get people to share my stuff on Facebook. I got bad news for you. You know what determines the amount of traffic you get on Facebook? The number of big authority sources sharing your content. Not the number of individuals with 5 friends and family members who click on the links, but sites with and people with thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of followers who share your stuff. Okay? And the same thing is true for anything else that you're trying to do. Okay? Any traffic strategy depends on, except for advertising, okay, which is an entirely different world. If you want quote-unquote free traffic, and the reason why I say quote-unquote is it's not really free. You're still investing your time to get it, okay? But it doesn't cost any money. If you want that type of traffic, the way to measure your success is the links from authority sources. And there have to be some around. Okay, if there aren't any around, if there aren't any authority sources who would want to link to your topic, then you don't have a chance. I'm sorry. But it's better to find out now than it is 2 or 3 years down the road. Okay? So, again, I hope this has been helpful to you. I hope it hasn't been too terribly painful for you. And if you're ready to take the next step, down below this video, download the blog topic scorecard. And also leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. If you want to tell me about your blog, you're welcome to do that. If you'd like to ask a question, you're welcome to do that. Or maybe that's not enough. Maybe you're not sure exactly how blogging is going to help you get more clients or get a book deal or just get your message out there. And if that's the case, then on Monday, I'm going to be launching a new mentorship program where if you feel like you need some more help with this, maybe you'd like to get on the phone, maybe you'd like to get training on exactly how to build a popular blog. If you're there, then pay attention on Monday to what's going to be coming in. Or if you'd like a little bit of info ahead of time, there is a button down below as well to get on the interest list for the new mentorship program I'm launching. There's nothing for sale yet. I'm not even accepting applications. Okay? I'll have some more content out for you tomorrow. So watch your inbox. All right? Take care. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.